pre-practice. So we'll have an updated report for you afterwards. But yeah, we'll be shells. We'll be in shells today. It'll be an abbreviated, what we would call a winter Thursday schedule. So.
Mike Toddarch of ESPN. It's a fairly obvious question, but can you talk about the impact that Saquon's had on that team the entire season?
Yeah, definitely. I was just talking about it earlier. He's just taking the run game, which was always very good, to a whole different level. Not only the consistency, but be able to hit the home runs, you hit the big runs. So he's playing at an extremely high level, and you tend to, as we know, playing against him every year, he's an exceptional receiver too, coming out of the backfield. So dynamic player, having a huge year.
John Machado with The Athletic. What do you see from their two young DBs? I mean, being rookies and playing at the level that they are.
Yeah, very impressive. I think it's something clearly coming out of our game. I thought they played well, playing very, very consistent. And I think, the natural is when you go against a rookie and you have the, veteran like Slay on the other side, the natural reaction is to go towards a rookie more. And I think both those guys really have played at a very high level for rookies.
And what's the top thing that stands out to you about Jalen Carter?
Too much. He's definitely very gifted. There's a clip. Just his balance, his strength. He has it all. So just a powerful inside player. Has excellent range too. So he's definitely someone that you have to keep four hands on at all times.
Okay. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How difficult will it be to prepare for either Hurts or Pickett on that Sunday?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, for us, just playing a lot of football against Jalen. So you do have a pretty clear understanding how he's going to play. He played obviously very well against us in the first game. Was able to get out of the pocket way too much in the first game. So that's, if he plays, that's something we definitely got to do a better job of. And then really, you need to, we're spending more time on Pickett. And obviously his play in the Washington game and so forth. So just watching what's going on there and understanding. They signed a third quarterback to the practice squad. So just paying attention to what's going on this week.
Tommy Arshhouse, COWBOYS.com. Like Jerry said on Tuesday, that with injuries like CeeDee's with his shoulder, with 2 games left, kind of up to the player as to whether or not they want to go the rest of the year. Have you talked to CeeDee at all, or any indication on what he wants to do?
Yeah, I think that's really what today's for. And that's one of the things that we need to work through today. That's why the practice is the way it is. And a part of working on Monday, Tuesday, and then having Wednesday off. So we're going to need more time to sort through that.
Josh.
Mike, Josh Valentino, Lone Star Live. How would you assess Monty Smith's development, over the past couple of months in comparison to, the end of his rookie year?
I think just like any player in his second year, he's clearly taken a step since last year. I think he's being asked to do to play differently. He's had a really good off season, so I'm very happy with the way he's played.
Garrett
Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, Cooper's first start this season was against Philadelphia back in Week 10. Where have you seen him grow the most since that start entering the game?
Well, I just think the biggest thing is, when you're the backup now, you get all the reps. So he's just a lot more comfortable in everything that we're doing game plan wise. So obviously that was a tough day for all of us, and and it started early. So, but he's clearly playing at a much better level right now.
David.
Like you mentioned, like today with Lane and some others, but that's what today is for, to kind of work through. You're still playing to win these games, but like you say, in individual situations, you go with each player and go, hey, how are we going to finish this out with you, and what do you feel comfortable doing? Is that well? I guess the conversation.
I think the biggest thing is, just you watch what use CeeDee, for example, what he went through, Sunday night into the Tampa game. So every injury is going to be evaluated. So the player and the medical staff. There's always collaboration on that, second opinions, and all those things on any injury that gets to a certain level. So that process won't change. I'm just being real here. Monday was their day off. Tuesday was Wednesday. So if you would have been down there Monday and Tuesday, you play on a Sunday night. And that was a physical football game. So we had a lot of guys moving through here Monday, Tuesday, and so we'll have a better handle on it once we get through today.
And the other thing is we talk about a lot of younger players getting more time late in the season when teams are, but in some cases like a Guyton, who is more about just going through the practice and doing things. Can it actually help a young player at some point to kind of step back and look at things rather than play early after he's played for where he is? Or
We play early.
Well, he played early.
Oh, he played early in the year?
Yeah, and now he hadn't played as much these last couple of games. In some cases, does it actually help a young player to step back and look at things?
I think maybe in theory, but also Tyler was dealing with numerous injuries, not just one injury. So he's had a lot to deal with and a lot to work through. I think he's done a great job battling back. So, but having him and Chuma available has worked out well for us. And so we'll see how the week goes. And but most importantly, having both those guys ready to go is important.
Is that is Kendricks in a similar situation as CD? You know, he's battling back some stuff, and you got some young kids who you want to see play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, everyone who's healthy is going to play. I mean, we're that's what it'll come down to. I mean, we're not having tryouts for young guys. That's not the mode here at all. So, and like I said, we didn't. This is a little different week. So we're not a day behind, but we're not where we normally are coming out of a Wednesday. You get pretty good information when you practice on Wednesday. So as far as the status of the 48, so we'll know more today once we get off the practice field.
Jasmine, Dallas Cowboys Media. Coach McCarthy, I'm sorry, this is too similar of a question, but I was wondering, with your emphasis on player health and safety, how do you make game decisions when you have players who want to play through injuries and obvious pain, but you're balancing competitiveness with making sure that their health and safety aren't compromised? And would you say that your philosophy on that has evolved over time for any reason?
Well, I think like anything, we've been working together since April, most of these guys. So, I mean, everybody has a relationship, with the trainer, the strength staff. There's a lot that goes into this, but players are not forced to play. And that's why you have the return to practice group, you have the rehab group. So there's a process, there's protocols that are in place to ensure that. So because I think it's even been heightened even more with it's a 17-game season and so forth. So that part hasn't changed because of our record. I mean, we'll go through the week, and the 48 players that we feel give us the best chance to win the game that are healthy.
Hey, did you see the announcement about CeeDee Lamb? It's official, he's out for the rest of the season. Honestly, it's a gut punch for us Cowboys fans. Lamb has been one of the most consistent players all year, and knowing we won't see him on the field for these last 2 games just hits different. The team released a statement explaining the situation. After more scans and examinations, they decided it's time for him to start recovering from that shoulder injury. Good news? He's not expected to. Needs surgery, and they're confident he'll make a full recovery. But man, it's tough losing such a key player when we need every edge we can get. Let me ask you this. What's your favorite CeeDee Lamb moment from this season? Was it one of his insane catches, or maybe a clutch play in a tight game? Drop it in the comments, because I'd love to hear what stood out for you. This news raises a lot of questions about how the team will adjust moving forward. But before we dive into that, let's take a closer look at what Lamb has been dealing with these past weeks. It's not just about Lamb missing games, it's the fight he's been putting up since week 9. Playing through an AC sprain in his shoulder, that's no joke. And yet, week after week, he was out there, giving everything he had for the team. That's the kind of player you can't help but respect. Lamb himself admitted after the game against the Bucs, "My shoulder is out of whack. I'm not even gonna lie to you." Can you imagine playing at that level, in that condition? Still, he kept showing up, proving his toughness. What really stood out to me was how Jerry Jones left the decision up to Lamb. Sure, the medical staff had their say, but ultimately, it was Lamb's call to keep going or not. Do you think that was the right move? Should players have that kind of control when it comes to injuries? Let me know in the comments. Alright, with Lamb officially sidelined, the focus now shifts to how his teammates are stepping up. In his absence, let's talk about that. It's clear that CeeDee Lamb has earned the respect of everyone in that locker room. Just listen to what Micah Parsons said about him. "He might be the best player I've seen with my own eyes. He just loves the game of football." That's high praise, right? And Parsons didn't stop there. He called Lamb QB proof, pointing out how Lamb's been successful no matter who's throwing him the ball. Think about it. Andy Dalton, Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush Lamb's put up numbers with all of them. That consistency is what makes him such a special player. And now, without him on the field, the rest of the wide receiver room has to step up. Cooper Rush even mentioned how deep the receiver group is, saying they're ready to fill the gap. But let me ask you, who do you think will shine the brightest in these last 2 games? Is it time for someone to break out? Vote in the comments below. Now, speaking of CeeDee's greatness, let's take a moment to look back at what he's accomplished this season. Even with this season being cut short, CeeDee Lamb has already left his mark. Did you realize he's the first player in Cowboys history to record 1,000 yards in 4 of his first 5 seasons? That's legendary. And last week against the Bucs, he passed Jerry Rice for the 4th most scrimmage yards by a receiver in their first 5 seasons. Jerry Rice, that's the company Lamb is in. He's not just a great receiver, he's rewriting the Cowboys history books. And for us as fans, it's moments like these that remind us how lucky we are to watch him play. So here's my question. Where do you think Lamb ranks among the all-time great Cowboys receivers? Let's hear your take in the comments. But now, with Lamb out, the question is, what's next for the Cowboys in these last 2 games? Let's break it down. With Lamb sidelined, the Cowboys face 2 critical games without their top playmaker. It's not just about missing his production. It's about the energy and leadership he brings to the field. Now the team has to adapt quickly, leaning on the depth in the wide receiver room that Cooper Rush mentioned. The real question is, how will the offense adjust? Players like Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks have to step up, and maybe we'll see some surprises from younger guys looking to prove themselves. It's a big moment for the team to show resilience and finish strong. What's your prediction for these final 2 games? Do you think the Cowboys can handle the challenge without Lamb? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on the Cowboys journey.